Hi, folks. This is Don and Linda out here in Marlborough, Massachusetts with the North Country Fishing Report. Linda, in our last report, I started to ask you a question, but I want you to answer this. What is it about doing these promotional efforts that we do out here in New England to bring people to our area that really stands out to you? What is something that you would like to share with everybody?
Well, there are a lot of different thoughts as you pose that question, but one that really resonates with me is that we're representing the town of Meissner. And the town of Meissner is comprised of a lot of citizens, but also a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of businesses that are trying to grow, prosper, maybe even do a startup because it's important to them. And they see Meissner as a wonderful economic climate for small business growth and development. So that's one of the first things I think about is Meissner equals economic development for the community and for the North Country as a whole.
You know, that's very interesting for people listening to the radio in other parts of our North Country. You know, it's not just Meissner. When we're out, we talk about Meissner because Meissner has taken the responsibility and the opportunity to send us to these places.
That's right.
But we do represent everybody in the North Country, and all the businesses benefit from the exposure that we're giving to our incredible area.
Plus, I think we recognize that Meissner doesn't have everything. It would like to have everything, the infrastructure and all the necessary amenities you'd want when you traveled in. But we recognize that we have a North Country that has a lot of other communities that offer something that perhaps Meissner might not.
Well, that, of course, and that's one of the big parts of our presentation, is if you're going to have a family come here to visit, we want to make sure that they're able to experience all the top features of what make our North Country life so special.
Yes,
And,
indeed.
You know, the waterfalls that exist along the Grass River, and
The great trails.
yeah, like the trail that in Colton. You know, these are experiences they're not going to have anyplace else, and they're really special. And when
Do you remember Bridget and when we did the General Tire tournament, and she was amazed. She had traveled the entire continent, and she was amazed at what the North Country had to offer, from farm markets to great vistas, the sunsets, the trails. She just said, I wish I'd brought my family.
Yeah, she said, if I'd only realized this area was such a gem, I would have had everybody in my family take part in this, because it's really became a wonderful experience for her. And she was so animate and so good in representing it that we tried to interview her so other people could get a chance to see how this affected somebody that had been a world traveler.
Yes.
And it really makes me remember something that's so critical for, I want people to understand. In all the years that I was doing my Streamside TV show, I was traveling all over our continent. And I always would leave a place feeling that, my gosh, I've left the best at home. And I really did. I left the best of any place I've seen in our whole part of the world. The North Country is so unique, and that's the story I've wanted to tell. That's why people are hearing me on the radio right now. My whole goal was to be able to tell the story of the North Country so that people in Oklahoma and Missouri and Arkansas, all the people I'd come to know, wouldn't laugh and make fun of me when I told them about the wonderful home I came from. They used to say, well, the fish all must glow green. But they were thinking about New York City, and they don't realize New York is a mega vista, a wonderland.
A vast state with so much to offer.
Yes. And and I think we live in the best.
Yes, we do.
So anyway, folks, that's what we're here for, to try to let other people know about where the best is, and the best is right up here in the North Country. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meissner and Linda with the North Country Fishing Report.